more bloodshed isn't going to bring us together. Your rage has been justified. Obviously, a result of being ignored, oppressed, criticized, unheard. I understand that now. And I feel ashamed that that up in our towers we've been oblivious, wrapped in our own policies and formalities and ignoring the voices of the entire Apex people.
Wow.
But let there be no mistake. My power is great. I use my words, but I also can use a sword. And other means.
Nulalak says, I saw that. And then she turns on the others, and perhaps a little contradictory considering her threat to you. As soon as they were like, yeah, bring her head back. That'll, they want negotiations. That her head's the ticket, right? As soon as the people are starting to talk like that, she'll turn on them and say she fought to make it possible for me to get back. She fought those security people. She killed them with that sword. So you can see that Nalek's kind of got the idea, right, that this is possible, but she's really, so what are you going to try to, are you going to, where are we going with this? I want to see what we're rolling for here.
Yeah, let's see. I've written on my last sentence there. I don't have any points in it yet, but unlikely alliance was going to be my next trait. So I'd probably, because I don't think diplomatic negotiations is going to help because there's too much emotion happening right now.
You get one die if it was diplomatic negotiation, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to say unlikely alliance. I want them to see me as someone that is an ally that can, or at least a tool. That can help them achieve
okay.
Some of their goals.
So specifically, we can go a little further with that because since you're using the trait of unlikely alliance, we can go further than just saying, oh, and that's the trait, right? We can see what you're doing with it. So if you can actually get this dialogue going, then what are you proposing actually be done?
Well, that I will I will be with them. I will join in their struggle to be heard, and I will bring it, from underneath, at the bottom and have it rise to the top.
Wow.
So I will help. I'll help them be heard.
Okay, I think that we've got, first of all, the circumstances of an unlikely ally right now are pretty good. I'm actually going for 3 dice on this because of the fighting that you did. I mean, and what you're saying is pretty intense. There's a little bit working against you, but I can live with saying no. This is rolling your way to enough that it's 3 dice. So
okay.
That's 3.
So
nothing in the trait.
And I'll add 2 pool dice. We'll see what happens. All right, dice. You're good to me last game. Let's see what happens. I got 1 success.
That's all you need. That's a full success in this game. So where are we going with this in terms of narration?
So narration, basically, I want to write down all the demands, all the grievances, and put it together in a way that when I come, I'm front-loaded with a good argument and to make sure that these guys start getting equal treatment and start getting heard. Because at the end of the day, Hibu just wants the Apex people to be right. And this is an injustice. She sees it now. She hadn't seen it before. She sees now the injustice of what's happening. And that stands in the way of her bigger kind of global, or not even global, galactic, expansion. This is hindering this. The house isn't right. We got to get this house right. We got to get everybody on board. And these guys could be some badass warriors when we need them. when we go to that next level. So she's got a lot of wheels turning. But yeah, the biggest thing is get these guys, get them right, get them what they need to have better lives, and be just society will heal the sickness in the society. So.
All right.
So yeah, she just wants to start writing things down, and getting her everything in order.
Now, considering what you're talking about, it wouldn't be surprising, as I see it, that it quickly becomes clear that there's lots of different views. And so, especially after this goes on a little while, a whole different faction will show up with their own notions that you had never dreamed of. And they will, speak up, and
that's great.
Right.
Every faction that there has to be one leader.
Right.
She will. Whoever comes in is like, all right, you're in charge. Come over here. Let's talk. So just start pulling people around this table and kind of getting the riffraff out.
Right. I see. Well, the hierarchical thinking, right? Anarchic democracy really is. That would be asking a little too much, I think. So,
Right.
So let's see here. We got that. We've got okay. Moving on. I think that several things will be notable for purposes of thinking what goes on next. It's assumed by everybody that an armed defensive response is necessary. You are given to understand that there are multiple exits, but also there are passages and further caverns where you quickly realize are considered scary and unused, and perhaps used in ways that nobody wants to talk about. And so therefore you would want to, you're getting a picture that this is not a sustainable place. If there's an assault, then it's not built to defend, right? They could, if they really needed to, but it would be a last stand. So the main issue is actually to get out of here. Few people seem to live down here, actually. Maybe some, but it's not like there's literally communities that specifically live down here. So at least not among the people that you're talking about. So so that's, I guess, the biggest concern immediately then is going to be, we have to get out of here and into action. We can't plan forever.
Sure.
And once this process gets going, it becomes clear, and Lalak is very concerned. In fact, she will turn to you and say, we have to do something about, if Carnivix is alive, we need to recover him. And the little one, the one who came with you, who's that? Kixikol. She says for the first time, and kind of nails it into her head for the first time, Kixikol. And she looks at you and says, what's her plan? And someone in the crowd shouts, I heard on the feed, she's behind this. She's a ringleader.
A ringleader? No, that is misinformation. Kixikol I think is surprised maybe at the turn of events here, and like me, shocked perhaps at what she's seen. And there's obviously a division within our own ranks above of what is right and what is wrong. And there's definitely a military threat to all of us, where they've decided that they are going to start making decisions that doesn't involve all voices. They will be quickly disappointed at the result of their actions, because there is a storm coming. I don't think they were prepared for.
There's a lot to talk about here. You're up against the confusion that even for the dissenters or underclass, pride in the military has always been the constant.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very, you're running it. You know yourself. You're speaking cultural heresy.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, not even.
And that's for somebody who's ex-military.
Yeah, not even the disenfranchised have gone that far. Right.
Yeah.
For the most part. Okay. So, all right. Go ahead.
So yeah. I'll leave it at this. I'll just say, my goal is that we all fight together. We all have the same common enemy. Mm-hmm. It is not one another. I would be proud to have all of you join me.
I like the way you put that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. Lalek will say, I look at it the other way around. But for now, we need to make we need to make some dramatic show of this. I mean, this is, she gestures toward your books and says, that's all very impressive, but
it's what I do.
Yeah.
But I do have somebody or a few somebodies I can call. Perhaps it will help us expedite the movements of you and others to get above. She's thinking her children.
Right. And the concept that any of them would actually go into the tower, that sort of ignites dialogue or considerations. So, all right. To make a little bit of time pass, I think that I'm getting the idea that organizing, creating a command structure, and actually getting back to Freetown in a much more organized fashion is a big priority for you. But at the moment, it's kind of difficult to know. I mean, one thing you'll find too is that there's a communications gap. One of the benefits of being down here is that for the first time in your life, Mr. Phone doesn't work.
Yeah.
And he goes, I'll make a call.
Right. Just hang on. Yeah. Right.
So that's just something for you to know. You're not going to actually be able to do any of that stuff until you are at the surface. Okay, cool. Good enough, Renee? Unless you want to.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay. No, that's a good place to break and go on to.
Excellent. So now of course, we go somewhat back in time because all the hours spent doing what we just did, we go back in time a little to see what happened up top. I know what I wrote down here, and I just put an arrow on my notes, and it goes to a place that says immediate logistics for Kixcall and Carnivix. I have no idea what you two think you're going to do next, or either of you. So you go right ahead and let me know.
Question?
Yeah.
Matt. I had the impression last time he was standing on that ledge.
Oh, okay.
And I was basically just keeping eye contact with him by fluttering in front of him. If he's in free fall, I need a moment to think.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to argue with you. I don't think I had said that, but I'm okay with taking it as a given. That's asking. Fine. No, I'm fine with it being right there, and I'm fine with that. And so that therefore there might even be somewhere that Carnivix could actually get to. So that actually, I mean, we knew that was that structure was there, and then also. Actually, I'm beginning to remember. Remember how there was the long strut that went out from the tower, and then there was the structure at the end of it? And didn't you say the guys said that you were going on to the connector structure? Do I remember that correctly?
That was what I thought.
Okay,
because
okay. I'm actually remembering that
having
now.
an argument like that in midair.
Right, exactly. No, I've got it. Okay, so he
Difficult.
is crumpling. Let's put it this way:
Mhm.
the surface is not made to stay on. So
Yeah, I get
therefore,
that.
right. So
Mhm.
therefore, although he is not in free fall, he is in danger of falling if, depending on just how conscious he is and depending on the details, of what happens next.
Good.
So that is the case. Carnivix, you are clutching. The safest thing to clutch onto right now is actually another person who can fly, which is what you've done. But there is that structure in immediate perception, the closest thing that seems like a surface to you. So let's talk a little bit about what I had in mind. It is a connector from the tower to a if not hanging, at least dependent structure of its own, and so therefore it's slightly arched. The way I see it is that it's more supportive than transport. Nothing goes along it. There's no, walkway. There's no, tube on the inside that you travel on. There's no there's no surface across the top that people drive on or anything like that. So therefore, it has the inconvenient aspects of, any structure of that kind. There's literally nowhere convenient to just stand and then walk somewhere else. You would have to be agile or fly a little or stuff like that. The actual materials itself, high tech metal and composite, content. It's not a natural structure at all. Some of the tower structure itself is, but not this part. On the other hand, your characters are often clawed or otherwise avian, and therefore your ability to make use of what a human would find very precarious is good. I mean, you're able to get onto something that I would not be happy standing on. And so bird-like individuals are not going to have as much trouble psychologically or physically as I would have. And I'm a primate. I mean, I'm not that bad at such things as far as animals go, but birds are better at it. So anyway, I think that orients people a little bit. Does that help with your question, Helma? Okay.
Oh yeah, I know what I want, what I'll do.
Everybody talk. I'm being quiet over here.
It's pretty easy. I'm just going to cling to that structure with my claws, which you have suspected rightfully. I assume I have, and try to keep all my on there, so he doesn't fall desperately. I mean, I'm a couple of heads smaller than him, but I just cling to him. I'm just. No, I don't let him go.
Okay, so that's what you're working on, and then how about Carnivix?
Well, the person that I'm holding on to, I want them to get me to an elevator so that I can go further up.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm up here. I don't want to waste this moment. We're going up.